Okay, so here we have set 6082 from 1993, the Fire-Breathing Fortress from the Dragon Master line. And this has got to be the coolest Dragon Master set for sure. I love this castle. It's actually really tall because that flag on the top and this little tower, the cone-shaped piece, which is new, I think, for that year. Lots of specialty pieces were made that year. But this one's definitely my favorite castle of the Dragon Masters for sure. It's obviously the main castle and the biggest. And yeah, it's really cool. It's got this brick-built dragon head as opposed to a specialty piece or something, which is really great. That was fun to build, and it looks really good. It looks really striking. It definitely looks a lot more fantasy than normal Lego sets, especially out of the vintage stuff. But I love it, and again, we always loved how they made good bad guys back in the day. The base plate, the raised base plate, has these black stones, but it's very much like the Black Knight's Castle and also the King's Mountain Fortress and other base plates of that early 90s era, except, you know, it's got the gray and black stones on it, which is cool. So this, yeah, this is a really cool set. Love it. It's really tall compared to the other castles. It doesn't necessarily look like it, but yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of having trouble getting it onto my camera shot here. Yeah, so let's just check out a few features. First off, it comes with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minifigures, and obviously the dragon is a big figure. And the Dragon Masters didn't really have a lot of soldiers, but they made up with their manpower strength, the lack of manpower strength, with dragon strength. Obviously, that was kind of the point of that. And so you get one Dragon Master soldier here with a brown horse and barding, some flags. Of course, these big giant axes, which I think are kind of good to stave off the dragons or to keep them under control. I kind of think that was the point. It's really big and mythological for the small figures to be able to wield, but you know, you still can do that for fun. You get a Dragon Master soldier. I'm sorry. Well, that's really blurry. My bad. And you know, he has that awesome cape. Very fantasy-ish. And it looks great though, I love it. Yeah. And of course, Magisto, oops, comes with this one. And they've got him with this little head clear piece, which is like his crystal ball, which is cool. I love the way that looks. That's really cool. And then you get a soldier with just that print and a big shield. And then an archer with the same print, and then a crossbowman with that same print. And then they've captured a wolfpack guy without any cape. He looks kind of funny. I'm so used to seeing him with capes. But yeah, he's in this set as well. And of course the big fig dragon, which I love those. A lot of people don't like them, but they're really fantasy-ish, and I love that. I think it looks great. I think it looks good. So the fortress itself, here, I'll kind of put this dragon down. Obviously it has this big front cage, which I would kind of imagine that, you know, usually you can see them use these to hold it up with and let the dragon loose. And the dragon is yeah, controlled by Magisto, so I guess you can just kind of envision that. Well, what makes this castle pretty cool and unique is it's got several trapdoors and contraptions. other than the look of it is pretty cool. It's definitely unique among Lego castles, at least of the 80s and 90s. And it's less about like walls and fortifications than it's just sort of a tower stuck on a top of a mountain, and the majority of it is kind of like a cavern, just almost like Dark Dragon's Den. So what does make this brick build dragon piece cool is you can load it with rocks through this little area there, and then as people try to come up to the they get a rock thrown at them through its mouth. It kind of comes down like that. So it's kind of a little defense as people try to come up the ramp or the hill, which is really cool. I like that. Here's a secret trapdoor right here, and you're right there where the dragon is, or maybe your guy could come out as the rocks are falling and attack. That could be a possibility. Something that you could use as a defense or an offense. Of course, there's the brown doors. Lots of new prints in this year. You can see these two dragons right there over the door. And then from this angle, you can see this dragon emblem carving on the wall piece, which is a standard wall piece except for that print. This is the only set you'll get that print on a wall piece with, other than in 1994 they released a set called Magisto's Tower, which really looks super similar to this tower here, and then it's got some burps and lerps on it, and it's not a very good build. So I don't really care for that one. I probably will collect it, but yeah, this one's way better. I feel like the 1993 sets were great. They were fine compared to the few stragglers they released in 1994. We can talk about that another time. Anyway, so that's that there in this front end. And then as you look at the top, I will kind of angle this. As you look at this top part, if somebody makes it up here and they have no more defense, you can release this trap door, bam, and you can fall down into the dragon's cave, and I guess get eaten by the dragon. That's pretty effective, and it works well. It's small, but it works. Oops. And let's see. I'll try to turn this around here. It's worth looking at for sure. This is a nice tree build in here. Pretty plain. Not a lot of details. What you can see, there's a crack here, but it's kind of like what I think of what I said before in other videos about the Dragon Masters. And bad guys, to me, are supposed to be more about, conquering and doing evil things at all costs. Sorry, there's some crud on there. Rather than making the most beautiful structures, they're not necessarily craftsmen. So I was thinking of bad guys as stealing structures or stealing things from other factions. And so it just kind of looks a little bit put together here. There's a little bit of a roof line there, which is cool. And then this is the tower portion, and you get a jail here. Or I guess you could stick the little fat guy or another prisoner in the jail. That roof line's pretty cool. I love that. Nice little detail in here in the tower is, if you look down in there, there's like a stove area and a little light fluorescent, or there's a clear translucent piece in there to make it kind of look like there's a little fireplace. That's cool. You could obviously add your own details if you wanted. And then here's the tower where the wizard Magisto stands. there's not much to this side, but it's I think kind of open, so you can just get in there and move your minifigures around, your pieces around, things like that. So it's not the most protected castle, but of course, you know, the point is they have a dragon, and you know, their whole point is to catch prisoners and keep him in there and then release the dragon. So that's kind of the point of this faction. But there you have it. That's the fire-breathing fortress from the Dragon Masters from 1993. Love it. And I'm working on a display for Dragon Masters, which has not been seen yet because there's not a lot to it yet, except I've started a mountain. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably be quite a while before I get a lot of progress on it, but that's kind of where that is. And so that's what's cool about this set. In all the pictures, it looks like it's on the top of a mountain or a cliff or something, which I do have the instructions as well. And these are in pretty good shape. But as you can see, they couldn't fit the whole thing into their picture either. So they put the flag down below, right here, instead of on the top. But yeah, this is always pictured in catalogs and stuff with like on the top of something, I guess, so that it makes sense so that the dragon can swoop down over the lands or over the opposing armies or whatever. So, and it's hard to get to. So yeah, I love that about this castle, the look of that and kind of where it's, you know, where you could position it as you play with it or whatever. But here you are, Fire Breathing Fortress from 1993.